Hello, everyone, and happy Monday core stability. We're going to start on the ground with our hundreds. So go ahead, wherever you're at, make your way down to the ground on your backs, feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling, head rested, arms reach along by your sides, fingertips reach forward, palms face down, curl it up, chin to chest, shoulder blades hovering, and you pump those arms 1 inch above the hips and then below the hips. Keeping those shoulder blades hovering the entire time, arms stay straight, fingertips stay forward as you lift and lower those arms. Keep breathing as you go through. If you want some extra challenge for the low abs here, you can keep the knees bent and lift the feet off the ground, shins parallel to the ceiling, or you can extend the legs straight to a diagonal away from the torso to add some extra instability through the low abs. If you take those options, low back glued to the ground. Keep breathing. Think about breathing in for about 4 pumps, and breathing out for about 4 pumps. Change your pace as you need. And in 3, 2, 1, go ahead and rest your head. We're going to take it to sit-ups, crunches, or roll-ups. So take your feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling for crunches or sit-ups. For crunches, hands behind head, elbows wide, curl up, shoulder blades hover, release. For a sit-up, your arms reach to the ceiling. You roll all the way up so that your shoulders stack over the hips. Arms reach forward to the top. Arms are facing the ceiling or reaching to the ceiling at the bottom. And then the only difference between the roll-ups and the sit-ups is for the roll-ups, you're going to extend those legs nice and long on the ground to give a longer base of support on the ground. Helps you get up a little bit easier without that momentum. So you're just picking whichever one's going to work for you. Working through the full ab wall. And in 3, 2, 1, go ahead and rest your head down to the ground and rest your feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. Take your hands and push them onto the ground outside the hips. We're going to take it to our single leg circles. Push your low back into the ground. Pull your right knee to your chest and extend your right toes to the ceiling. And you're going to draw circles with the right leg. You're going to go across the body first. Let's start counterclockwise. So think about loosening up through the hip mobility here. Think about lengthening through the leg. Think about keeping the body as still as a cinder block. If the body starts to wiggle, make the circles smaller. Reverse directions. Now we go we go clockwise this time. Letting the hip move freely through the hip joint. As we go through today, please make sure you're taking any breaks you need and adjusting any exercises to suit what your needs are most. And when you're ready, let's finish out those right sides. So pull that right knee back into your chest and then send that right foot down. Let's switch to the left side. Left knee pulls into your chest and then extend that leg straight, point the toe to the ceiling. Go across the body first with your circles. Draw circles clockwise, starting with that left side. Pressing down hard into the palms outside the hips, pressing that back into the ground. Think about mobility and fluidity through that left hip socket, stretching and strengthening through that left leg as you go through your circles. Torso is a cinder block, glued to the ground. And reverse your directions. Now we go counterclockwise. Take nice deep breaths. This is your workout. Make it what it needs to be for you. And in 3, 2, 1, bend your left knee into your chest and send your feet flat to the floor. We're going to take it to single leg stretch. So go ahead and bring your right knee towards your chest and wrap your arms around your right knee or shin and curl up chin to chest so that your shoulder blades hover off the ground. Extend your left leg long to hover, point your toe. You can always leave the left leg planted if that works better for you. Now we switch, left knee in, right leg long. Switch and switch. Keep your shoulder blades hovering the entire time you go through this exercise to create instability through the upper abs. Legs extending is low abs. One knee pulling to the chest at a time is oblique. Work through it. And in 3, 2, 1. Bring both knees into your chest, rest your head. When you're ready, we're going to take it to double leg stretch. So curl back up into your tight ball, shoulder blades lift, hug your knees into your chest. Arms and legs are going to both extend away from the torso at the same time, keeping the shoulder blades lifted and the low back glued. So legs extend away from the torso, arms reach out to the sides and then behind the shoulders, and then hug everything back in. Repeat. Trying to keep the low back and shoulders high. We're ending up in a hollow hold, and then we hug ourselves back into a ball. And in 3, 2, 1, hug your knees into your chest, rest your head down on the ground. We're going to take it to our single straight leg stretch next. So go ahead and take your left foot flat to the floor, left knee to the ceiling, and then extend your right leg straight to the ceiling. Curl up, chin to chest. Reach those hands as high on the right leg as you can towards the ankle or foot. Shoulder blades are lifted off the ground here to engage the upper abs. And now we're going to switch legs. You can extend the left leg long to hover if it feels good. And then left leg goes to the ceiling, right leg goes down. So you have the option to hover that leg or plant it when it goes down. One leg to the ceiling, then switch. Those hands that are reaching up, switch, and they try to hold on to whatever leg is up at the moment, as high as they can. Trying to keep your legs as straight as you can, keeping those shoulder blades hovering at the same height. And again, that spine is glued to the ground, low back, mid back. And I stretch through the legs as we engage through the core. And in 3, 2, 1, bend your knees into your chest to rest your head, send your feet flat to the floor. Nice job. We're going to take it to our double straight leg stretch. So if our head's going to get to stay rested, those upper abs get a little bit of relief here. Push your palms down into the ground outside the hips and send both legs straight up to the ceiling. Squeeze your legs together to make one long leg. Fight for the straightest leg you can. Toes are pointed. You're going to glue your low back to the ground, pull their belly button down towards the spine, lower your legs for 3 counts, and then lift them back up to the ceiling. So legs stay glued as they lower away from the torso to a diagonal, and then they go straight up to the ceiling. Think about a slow lower and a quick lift. This is low abs primarily. Pressing hard down through the palms is going to give you more stability as your legs go through this movement. And in 3, 2, 1, bend your knees into your chest, send your feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. We're going to take it to a crisscross crunch or a bicycle crunch. You get to choose which one works for you. So starting with feet flat, knees to the ceiling, hands behind head, elbows wide. Pull your left knee to your chest as you crunch towards the left knee. Set it down, switch. Right knee pulls in, crunch to your right knee. So when you crunch, that's those shoulder blades lifting off the ground to hover. You're trying to keep those elbows nice and wide. That's going to offer no pulling, but support behind the neck. It's also going to increase the work through the upper abs. If hands across the chest feels better for you, you can take that option. If bicycle kicks feels better to you, you can take that option. Knee pulls into chest, extends long to hover, switch sides. So you can either plant the foot after it comes into your chest, or you can hover it and extend it on the ground. Just a couple more here. In 3, 2, 1, pull your knees in and release everything. Go ahead and shake everything out. Get a drink of water if you need, and we're going to take it to our balance section standing. I have to redo my hair, so hold on. Tie it up real good. Okay. I'm going to get a drink of water, and we're standing for our balance. We're going to start with our calf raises. Feet hip width apart, toes forward, and heels lift and lower. You're gonna laugh. I put my hair up and I missed a whole chunk of hair. Raise your hand if that's ever happened to you. Okay. We're working on balance here, ankle mobility, core strength. Just tuning into our balance to start. All right, next exercise, we're going to take it to a slow squat. So you can choose the distance of your feet here for now. And we're going to take it down, push the hips back and down. As you take a nice bend in those knees, I want you to go slow and then slowly stand back up. So I want you to at least count to 3 as you go down and come up. But if you can take longer, then take longer. Again, you can choose the distance your feet are from each other. Your toes point forward. As you send those hips back and bring them down, I want the knees to track over the ankles. You will hinge forward from the waist, but I want you to keep that collarbone proud the nose pointed as forward as you can. And a slight pull together of those shoulder blades is gonna help protect the back and activate the upper back to keep the chest nice and proud. Nice and slow. The slower you go, the more it'll burn. Okay. From here, we're gonna add options. Remember, you can always stick to home base. This is home base. So, option to add a high knee at the top. So we're gonna do right leg on the move this round. So slow squat, slow stand up. You have the option to incorporate the high knee as you stand up, or fully stand up and then do your right high knee and reset. You choose where it fits in for you. So as you stand up, your balance, your weight shifts to your left leg, left side. You've got it. Now I'm gonna build onto this. Put your hands in a prayer in front of your chest. And as you come up and you're in that up high knee position, I want you to twist your chest to the right. Nose follows. And then reset. Again, you can break this up into as many pieces and parts as you want. Squat, stand, high knee, twist towards the high knee, and then repeat. So combine it into a flow or separate them out. You choose what's gonna work for you. Keep it slow. The slower you go, the more you're gonna have to balance, the more time you're spending with less supports. Always the option to make it your own. Hold on to something if you need. All right, next time you're in your squat, pulse there. Haha, didn't think that was coming, but did it. Okay, you're pulsing in your squat. So what that means is you're staying in that low squat. You're sinking the hips a little bit lower, perhaps an inch or so, and then lifting it an inch or so, and then going right back down. So the movement is small and it burns. You've got it. Keep that chest proud, collarbone wide. Shoulder blades gently pull together. Low body burn. In 3, 2, 1, forward fold. Straighten your legs, reach your hands down to the ground, fold yourself in half. If you want to take a soft bend to your knees and your forward fold, you certainly can. Just breathe here. We have another side to do in just a minute. And then 3, 2, 1, slowly roll back up. We start with our calf raises. Heels lift and lower. My feet start about hip width apart, shoulder width apart here. Your hands can be wherever helps you balance. Hips, prayer, T, holding on to something like a wall or a piece of furniture. You've got it. And you know it's coming. We're starting with a slow squat. Adjust your feet as you need. Push your hips back, sink them down. Try to count to 3 on the way down. Count to 3 on the way up. If you can make it, count to 5, count to 7. Do it. Feel that burn. Pull the shoulder blades gently together. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Taking this at your slow pace. How slow can you go? Keep those knees tracked over the ankles. If your knees end up coming too far forward, push your hips further back and focus on that, and that'll correct the knees. Now we're gonna add that optional high knee. So when you come up, bring your knee with you, or stand, then high knee, reset. Saying it slow. So we're switching sides, so this is the left knee that's lifting this. You can do it. You can do it. Now we're going to build on prayer hands in front of the chest and twist towards that knee that's coming up. So twist to the left. As you twist your core to the left, your nose, your chest follows. Doesn't have to be a big twist. but we're adding another plane of movement when we twist. Transverse plane. So it makes it more difficult to balance. You've got it. All right, you know what's coming. Next time you're in your squat, we pulse. You got it. You can pulse here knowing you have a stretch coming up. Take that chest, open the collarbone, pull the shoulder blades together. Make that nose a little bit more forward. Try not to tip over. You've got it. Push those hips back. Inch up and an inch down with the hips. Keep them back. And in 3, 2, 1, we stretch. Forward fold. Reach the hands down. Legs can straighten, or you can take a soft bend in the knees. Let the head hang heavy. Let the arms hang heavy. Maybe you let your hips go left and right as you're standing. Just flow a little bit. Take all the tense stuff out. When you're ready, get a drink, and we will corkscrew next on our backs. All right, on your back, head rested, feet start flat to the floor. Press your palms down into the ground outside your hips, and send both legs to the ceiling. Squeeze your legs together, one long leg, and we draw circles with our legs. Draw one circle to the ceiling, and then switch directions, so we alternate every other, right, left, right, left. As you draw your circle, think about squeezing your inner thighs together nice and tight, bonus inner thigh work. Think about pressing through the palms down into the ground to give you extra stability. Think about gluing the low back to the ground. Think about gluing the torso to the ground. So with the circle motion, that's obliques. With the legs moving, that's low abs. So take a nice deep breath. You've got it. Find your range of motion where you can keep that low back glued, you can keep that torso still, and you find that challenge. And in 3, 2, 1, bend your knees, send your feet flat to the floor. We're gonna take it to a dead bug as we do. So hands go to the ceiling, right over the shoulders, fingertips up, and keep your knees bent. Shins face the ceiling now. So knees are stacked over the hips, shins to the ceiling. And you can point your toes here. Push your low back down into the ground, pull your belly button towards your spine. We opposite arm and leg extend. Right arm back, left arm forward, or right arm back, left leg forward. Come back through center, repeat, reset, switch sides. So opposite arm, opposite leg extend to hover off the ground. The arm reaches back behind the shoulder. The leg reaches in front of the hip. You've got it. Breathe as you go. If opposite arm, opposite leg isn't working for you, you can do one leg at a time. Arm, arm, leg, leg. Find what's gonna work for you. Breathe. This is lots of deep core work. And in 3, 2, 1. Bring both knees in towards your chest, and then send your hands flat to the floor, palms face down, pushing into the ground outside the hips. We're gonna do our knees in switch kicks. So your right leg is gonna go to the ceiling, your left leg is gonna hover off the ground. Then you're gonna bring your knees to your chest, switch sides. Left leg to the ceiling, right leg hovers off the ground. Knees to chest, switch. Press hard down into the palms of the hands outside the hips. Trying to fight for a straight leg. When my leg goes to the ceiling, that leg doesn't necessarily want to get straight. I have tight hamstrings, but you're fighting for it to get as straight as you can. The knees into the chest gives you a little bit of relief between the two. Movements. You've got it. Breathe. So obliques, this is low abs. Keep those low abs pulled in. And then 3, 2, 1. Send your feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. We're going to enter into a bridge series. So take your hands, press them hard down into the ground outside the hips. Go ahead and get into your bridges. Squeeze the glutes, lift the tailbone off the ground, and hips go towards the ceiling. Vertebrae roll up all the way to or through the mid back, and then lower those hips back down. So the shoulders and head stay rested. Last few vertebrae of the spine stay on the ground with the shoulders. And then your hips lift and lower. So when you are in your bridge and you're in that up position, I want you to think about having a straight line, a nice diagonal straight line from knees to hips to ribs, and then you lower. Moving at your pace. Now, something great about our glute bridges is, yes, we're strengthening through the hamstrings and glutes, but we're also stretching those hip flexors that work really hard when we're working our core. Breathe as you go. Make this your own. Now, option today, if you're feeling up to it, next time your hips are down, step your feet wide, wider than shoulder width apart, and then continue your bridges. So with your feet wider here, that's going to give you a better pinch, I guess, engagement through the outer glute. If you want more hamstring work, flex the feet, toes lifted, heels drive into the ground. You're picking your pace here. The longer you hold in that up position, more time under tension you have. The shorter you go, the more reps you get. So every option has its perks. And in 3, 2, 1, bring those hips back down to the ground. If your feet were wide, bring them back in to their neutral position. And we're gonna do our upside down tabletop toe tap, still burning out low abs and obliques. So the shins face the ceiling, knees are bent, stacked over the hip. Now here, I really want you to check to see that your knees are stacked over your hip. If your knees come closer to your chest, you're losing the work for the low abs. So keep those knees stacked over the hips. Glue your low back down to the ground, tap your right toes on the ground, lift back up, left toes tap the ground, lift back up. So every time you lift back up, those shins are parallel with the ceiling once again. You're doing right, left, right, left. Now, if you want to add spice to this, you can extend your leg longer as your toe taps. So the further your toe taps away from the glutes, the more of a spice you'll feel. It also takes a little bit longer to get there, which increases time under tension. Glue your low back to the ground. If your low back starts to peel off the ground or you start to lose that connection with the low abs, make the movement a little bit smaller. If lowering your toe to the ground doesn't work, just lower it until works for you. So you don't have to exactly touch the ground if that's not going to work. Find what is going to work within your range of motion. You got it. And in 3, 2, 1, you can set your feet down to the ground for a brief moment, maybe wiggle out your hips if that feels good. Send both legs to the ceiling, and we're gonna do some crunches from here. Take your hands behind your head, elbows wide. You're gonna crunch and release. So now with your feet to the ceiling and your crunches, you are decreasing stability because that's 2 less points of contact you have with the ground. And you're also using your abs to help keep those legs lifted. Trying to straighten the legs is going to engage the thighs. And I want you to have your legs just a little bit separated, so don't squeeze them together. That's going to give you less support because now it's 2 legs separated instead of having to support 2 legs separated instead of gluing them together. If you're always looking for that inner thigh work, you can always squeeze them together. And in 3, 2, 1, rest your head and then rest your right foot. Keep your left leg to the ceiling, and we're going to continue our crunches towards our left toes. So left toes to the ceiling, crunch, release, crunch, release. If hands behind head, elbows wide doesn't feel good to you here, you have the option to take both hands and reach them towards the left toes. You have the option to take your hands and reach them across your chest. Left side obliques and upper abs working here. And in 3, 2, 1, left leg down, right leg up. We switch sides and crunch to our right. Shoulder blades just lift an inch or so with those crunches. Not a huge movement. Think exhale, crunch, inhale to release, reset. Got it. And in 3, 2, 1, and release that. Head rests, feet can come flat to the floor. And we're gonna do a little Ferris wheel legs. So I want you to take your feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling to start. Push your palms down into the ground, outside the hips, head is rested. Pull your right knee to your chest, extend your right leg straight to the ceiling, and then lower it to hover. And repeat, right knee to chest, right leg to ceiling, lower it to hover. Continue. So every time that leg lowers to hover, you're working the obliques, low abs. Pulling to your chest is relief. Leg to the ceiling is a stretch to the hamstring and a squeeze through the thigh. Knee to chest, leg to ceiling, lower to a hover. You got it. We're gonna switch in 3, 2, 1. Right leg planted down to the floor, knee to the ceiling, and we switch to the left. Left knee pulls to chest, left leg extends to ceiling, hovers the ground, switch, left knee to chest, to the ceiling, and extend. You've got it. This playlist is songs that were hits in 2024. If anyone was curious. You've got it. Keep breathing. And in 3, 2, 1, we're gonna come to a seated position. So go ahead, set those feet flat. Come on up to a seated position. So shoulders stacked over the hips, feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. We're gonna take it to our seated oblique twist, also known as cherry pickers or Russian twists. So you're gonna hinge back with the upper body. So shoulders, instead of being stacked over the hips, are gonna send backwards. Feel the ab wall catch here. Reach your arms forward to start, and you're gonna take your hands, touch your left hip as you twist your torso to the left, and then take your hands, rainbow them up and over so they come in front of the chest, reach to the right hip, and switch. Right hip, left hip. The further you lean back, the more spice you're gonna feel. And I want you to tune into your legs here. So feet are starting planting here. I want the movement to be so in the oblique, so in the torso that your hips are not moving. If your hips are moving, that's gonna cause your legs to move and your knees are gonna wiggle wobble. We want the knees to be cement, those feet to be still. We want those hips to be still. So your hips will try to take some of the work out of the obliques. Don't let them. Let the twist just be the abs wringing out like a washcloth. If your legs are stable, they're frozen in time, option to add a challenge. Lift those feet off the ground, shins parallel to the ceiling. There's still a bend in those knees, and keep those legs still once again. Breathe. You've got it. And in 3, 2, 1, send those feet flat to the floor. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders stacked over hips. Reach your arms forward. So I want your arms long, extended in front of the shoulders, palms face each other, fingertips face forward. And we're just gonna lower and lift the torso. So the shoulders are gonna dip back behind the hips, and then they're gonna come back over the hips. Back behind the hips, up over the hips. Now you can play with this range. If you can do this without bringing the shoulders fully over the hips and keeping them in a back position, feel free to do that. We just want to lean back and then come forward. Dig your feet into the ground. I want them to be still and stable. Think about maybe this being like the top millisecond of that sit-up, like right before you're coming all the way up. Shoulders and torso leans back, and then it comes forward an inch. Repeat. Think about pulling your spine, your belly button back as you go back, and think about lifting with your chest as you come back up. And in 3, 2, 1, sit all the way up nice and tall. Extend your legs straight directly in front of the hips. You can flex your feet here. Now we're gonna do a spine stretch forward. I want you to reach your hands overhead to the ceiling, stacked over the shoulders. And then you're gonna pull your low back backwards as you hinge forward and bend forward. Reach the fingertips forward towards the toes. So you're bending yourself like the bend in a candy cane. Your spine pushes back. Your arms reach forward towards the toes. Your crown of your head reaches forwards in the direction of the toes. But with that active pull back of that belly button, that spine rounding backwards is going to give you a nice stretch through the spine, decompressing the spine while still getting that core engagement. Think about this as a forward fold, trying to get the back that we would use in a cat-cow. So nice rounded spine pushing back, reaching forward with those fingertips as you're pushing the spine backward, like the nice bend in a candy cane. And when you're ready, come back up to a nice tall seated position. Take your legs a little bit wider than the hips. Legs are still extended in front of you. Flex your feet. We're going to take it to our saw, also known as seated windmill toe touch. So arms go to your T shape, left fingertips reach left, right fingertips reach right. You're going to take a nice big inhale when you're facing center. On your exhale, you're going to twist to the left. I want your arms to stay wide as you're twisting. Right hand reaches towards left pinky toe. Come back up through center. You're unwinding and you repeat opposite hand to opposite foot. So right hand to left foot, left hand to right foot, or pinky to pinky toe. Think exhale as you reach, inhale as you come through center. Trying to keep those arms wide the entire time. You're twisting through the torso, so you are getting that oblique twist. You're also getting a nice stretch through the backs of the legs. You're also engaging the upper back by pulling the shoulder blades together. Nice job. And in 3, 2, 1, shake your body out. Maybe shake out your legs, wiggle your legs. I'm gonna get a drink of water and we are gonna get into tabletop. So meet me in tabletop when you're ready. I just hydrated myself. Okay, so we get into tabletop. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're gonna start adding more, bringing our focus towards the posterior chain, the backside of the body, with our bird dog sequence to start. You're going to take your right arm and you're going to reach it forward from the right shoulder at shoulder height. And then you're going to set it back down underneath the shoulder. Switch sides. Left arm forward at shoulder height. Set it back down. Switch to the legs. Right leg reaches back behind the hip, nice and long, toe pointed. Then bend that knee, bring it underneath the hip. And the left leg extends nice and long behind the hip. And bend that knee right back underneath the hip. Repeat. Right arm, left arm, right leg, left leg. You're just extending one limb at a time away from the body. As you do this, your head is in line with your spine. Your back is so flat that nothing would spill off of it. I am having lasagna for dinner this week, so I'm balancing my imaginary lasagna on my back. So good. And you want to make sure that that belly button is pulled into the spine. The feet are relaxed, okay? Sometimes our feet tense up. When you're at the end of your cycle, wherever that might be, we're going to take it to opposite arm, opposite leg, a standard bird dog. So right arm forward, left leg back, and then reset, switch sides. Left arm forward, right leg back, and reset, switch sides. You've got it. Keep the back flat. Think about the tops of your feet pressing into the ground while you're doing your bird dog. The bottoms of your feet facing the ceiling. Take nice deep breaths. Where's your head? Is your head in line with your spine or has it sunk? Check in. Back flat. No lasagna spillage. Garfield would be so sad. I used to have a cat that looked like Garfield in my childhood. All right. When you are ready, we are going to add an optional bird dog crunch, okay? So as the opposite arm and leg extend away from each other, they're going to come back in, opposite knee, opposite elbow, come towards each other underneath the belly button before they reach back out long and then reset tabletop. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Do your extend like a typical bird dog, and then opposite knee and arm bend towards each other, coming underneath the belly button. They do not have to touch. Extend long, tabletop. Adding an extra instability challenge. Think about that foot, that stabilizer foot on the ground. The top of that foot presses down into the ground, and use it as an extra base of support for yourself. Always the option to stay wherever you are on your bus stops. We add things to it, we build on, find what's going to work for you and stick with that, or come along for the ride. And in 3, 2, 1, we are going to retire those bird dogs, and we're going to come to our bellies for our back extension series. So go ahead and lay front side of your belly down to the ground. And let's start with those hands underneath our shoulders. Today, we're going to take it to a swan variation to start. So the elbows are going to bend and tuck in towards your ribs. You're fully laying on your belly. The palms are face down underneath the shoulders. Fingertips are forward. Try to tuck those elbows in nice and tight towards the ribs. Push your hip bones down into the ground while you're trying to pull your belly button towards your spine, so you feel a nice engagement through the core and low back. From here, without pressing into your hands, lift your chest just an inch or two off the ground, and then you're going to add the press of your hands. Press through your hands to lift a little bit higher. When you can hold no higher, release your hands and try to maintain that position for a second or two, and then you come back down, chest comes back down. So without putting pressure in your hands, you lift the chest, add pressure through the hands to lift a little bit higher, release the hands and try to maintain that position, and then you lower back down. You're going to feel all the muscles surrounding the spine help here. So no pressure through the hands, add pressure through the hands, release, hold, and then come all the way back down. One more. And wherever you're at, come on back down, chest down to the ground, and reach your arms forward ahead of the shoulders. We're going to lift the upper and lower body off the ground here, keeping that belly and hips attached to the ground. So again, let's get that engagement first. Let's push the hip bones down, pull the belly button towards the spine, and then arms and legs are going to lift to hover. And once you're there, just hold for a couple breaths, and then you can release when you need to, and then come back into it. So whenever you need to release, take that release, and then lift those arms and legs just a few inches again. The chest lifts with the arms. On your next lift, we're going to take it to our swimming. So when your arms and legs are lifted, you're going to take your right arm and lift it a little bit higher, like an inch or so, as well as your left leg. And then you're going to switch. Opposite arm, opposite leg, lift, 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 and then switch, switch, switch. Like you're pedaling those feet, those arms. It's called swimmer. And in 3, 2, 1, rest everything back down. Nice job. Now take your arms outside your hips. So hands outside hips, legs nice and long behind you. Try to squeeze your legs together as tight as you can. If you can get them touching, squeeze those inner thighs together. When you're ready, get a nice deep breath, and then lift your chest and your upper and lower body off the ground, and then reach those hands long, strong behind you. If you can clasp your hands together behind your back, do so. And if you can't, either way, roll your shoulders down and back, pull those shoulder blades together, try to lift that upper body an extra centimeter off the ground. I can't clasp my hands together behind my back, so stick with wherever you're at. Take deep breaths, squeeze those legs in towards each other as tight as you can. Opening through the chest, squeezing through the upper back. And then 3, 2, 1, release. Nice job. Now we're gonna windshield wiper our legs to get any extra tension out. So go ahead and rest your head however feels good. I like to bend my arms, bring them ahead of me, palms face down, one stacked on top of the other, and rest my forehead on my stacked palms. And then from here, we windshield wiper. Pull your heels to your glutes, to your bottom. Knees are bent. And then let your lower legs, your feet fall right, come back through center, fall left. Releasing any tension through the hips, low back. Then we'll go into our glute series. When you're ready, 3, 2, 1, release your windshield wipers. We take it to our glute kick series, and today we're doing clamshells. So you're gonna come to lay on the left side of your body. Right side of your body is up toward the ceiling. Now, pull your knees towards your chest and have a nice bend in those knees. And you can either prop yourself up on your forearm, left forearm, or you can use your arm as a pillow, left arm, or you can rest the head in the palm of your left hand, okay? From here, right hand can come to your hip, or you can press it down into the ground in front of the chest. I like to have my hand on my hip because it can hold me accountable. Okay, from here, the right leg is stacked, mirroring over the left. You're gonna lift your right knee towards the ceiling and then lower it. Lift your right knee towards the ceiling and lower it. Now, when I say towards the ceiling, you're just going up. It doesn't have to be a huge movement. My knee only lifts a few inches because if you have your hand on your hip, you can feel your hip. If your hip wants to draw backwards, you've opened your leg too high, okay? So keep that right hip stacked over the left. Really important. We're engaging side glutes here. So the feet stay connected, the knee lifts and lowers. Now, wherever you're at, think about making your upper body proud. We don't want it to feel collapsed in on itself. So roll that top shoulder back, that right shoulder back. Think about pulling your rib cage up and away from the ground, even if your rib cage is rested on the ground and if that's the position you chose. Pulling the rib cage up and away is going to give you activation through the obliques, even if it's resting on the ground. It's also going to help support the shoulders. Now we're going to switch it up and you're going to lift the entire right leg, keeping the bend. So now the toes, the feet are going to lift with the knee at the same rate. So leg lifts, lowers, leg lifts, lowers. You've got it. So when you lift, you just lift to hip height and then you lower it back down. Just a few inches, few centimeters, find your range. It's gonna get real spicy here in a sec. All right, now keep your leg lifted at hip height. Flex your right foot, kick your leg forward, and then bend it back to hover over the left leg. So when your knee is bending and extending to kick that right leg forward, I want the knee to stay stacked over the left knee. You're still hovering, but I don't want the knee to draw forward or back. I want it to stay in the same spot. It's the lower leg that's extending forward and then bending back to where it started. This one's spicy. Keep that leg at hip height. And in 3, 2, 1, rest that top leg. We're gonna switch sides. Shake your body out. Lay down, right hip down, left hip up. Bend your knees towards your chest. The closer the knees come to your chest, the spicier this is gonna be. Your left leg is stacked over the right. You can either prop yourself up on your left forearm, you can rest your head on your right arm as a pillow, or you can bend your elbow, rest your head in the palm of your right hand. Take your left hand, oh my goodness, to your left hip, or press it down into the ground in front of the chest. From here, lift your knee, lower, lift, lower. Keep the feet connected for now. You've got it. Think about pulling that rib cage away from the ground. It's okay if it's touching the ground. Just think about that engagement. It's gonna activate the obliques, whether it lifts or not. Think about pulling the shoulder blades together. Outer glutes to start us off. And in 3, 2, 1. Now the entire leg is going to lift to hip height. So that foot is going to come with it. So foot and knee lift to hip height. Rest. Lift. Lower. You got it. Breathe. Pull the shoulder blades together. Just to hip height, and then you reset. And we're going to get to that point where we add that spice next. So let that left leg hover over the right, and then flex the left foot. Kick the left leg forward. Ooh, that feels some type of way. And then bend it again so it hovers over the right. So that left thigh stays hovering over the right side the entire time. The knee doesn't pull forward or back. The knee stays where it is as it bends and extends. So the lower leg reaches forward and then comes hovering right back over the right leg. You've got it. We're almost there. Spicy, spicy, spicy. And in 3, 2, 1. Nice job, everybody. We cool down. So get a drink of water if you need, and feel free to follow along with me or do what's going to feel best in your body. I'm going to get a drink right now. We'll start in cat-cow. So for cat-cow, you're going to start in tabletop position. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Back is flat, head is in line with your spine. And we're gonna throw that lasagna off of our backs here. So take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, push your spine to the ceiling, tuck your chin to your chest. That lasagna rolls right off. And then when you need to inhale, you'll dip your belly low, pull your shoulders down and back, nose forward, collarbone wide for cow. Go through these at your own pace with your breath. Exhaling for cat, spine up. Inhaling for cow, belly low. If you have trouble remembering, think the belly is low. It's ready to fill with air. That's when you inhale. Maybe you wiggle your hips side to side. Nice strong press through the palms. And when you are ready, take your back to a flat back. And we'll go into our pike down dog. So curl your toes under, send your hips to the ceiling. Arms and legs are straight, upside down V shape. The pads of your feet and your hands are on the ground and everything else is lifted. To get a deeper stretch, you'll push your heels towards the ground to get that's through the back of your legs. And then for a deeper stretch through the spine, you pull your chest towards your knees. If you would like to bend your knees a little bit, if that feels good, feel free to take that option. And when you're ready, carefully come back down to your knees and we will roll onto our backs. From your back, hug your right knee to your chest, extend your left leg long. Breathe deeply here. And then if you'd like to have your left leg extended fully, you can. If you'd like to plant your left foot on the ground, you can. And you can also take the option of taking that right knee just out to an inch wider outside the ribcage or towards the shoulder, and that's going to open the stretch through the inner thigh or the hip just a little bit more. If you'd like to take it to your twist, feel free to do so now. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Guide the right knee up and over towards the left side of the body, only as far as feels good to you. So that right hip can peel off the ground if that's where it takes you. Right arm long to a T, outside the right shoulder, nose points right. Breathe. Come back through center, give yourself a little hug, rock forward, side to side, and you can switch sides. So you hug your left knee into your chest, your right leg can go long, or foot can plant. You take a couple deep breaths here. If it feels good, maybe you guide that left knee just an inch or so wide to the left to open the stretch through the inner thigh, outer hip. can take it to your twist. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Guide the left knee up and over towards the right side of the body. Left arm goes long to a T. Nose points left. You take a couple deep breaths here. Spine twist, glute stretch, shoulder and chest opener. And when you're ready, come back through center. Give yourself a little hug, knees to chest. And when you're ready, you'll roll up to a seated position for our seated forward fold. Once you're seated, stand nice and tall, legs extend long in front of you. You have the option to have your knees bent or extended straight. Find what's going to feel good to you. Arms start long by your sides. Inhale as you sweep your arms out to the side, up over the head. Exhale as you hinge forward. Reach for those toes or the shins, the ankles, wherever you're going to reach forward, folding yourself in half. As you're folded in half here, think about rolling your shoulders down and back, letting your shoulder blades separate, and then feel that stretch change through the upper back. And when you're ready, you can release that and we can come into our butterfly. So from your butterfly, you take the bottoms of your feet and glue them together in front of your hips, which means that your knees have to bend out to each side. You have options here. More intense is feet closer to you, knees wider and hinging forward from the waist. Less intense is the opposite of that. Feet further away, knees more upwards, and chest upright. So you choose what's going to feel best in your body. And then when you're ready, you can take it to a wide straddle stretch. So extend your legs straight out in front of you and then take them wider than your hips. You choose how wide is wide. And then take your hands and walk them forward and reaching those fingertips on the ground, pressing them down into the ground as you try to reach forward. Maybe you flex your feet. You're stretching out through the spine with every reach forward. You're stretching those inner thighs. You're stretching and opening through the hips. You're also getting the backs of the legs. Decompressing through the spine. Breathing. And you release that and you come to your child's pose or rest position to round us out. So starting in tabletop, feet or knees go a little bit wider than the hips. Big toes come together to touch behind you. You sink your bottom towards your heels and you walk your hands forward, reaching them as long on the ground as you can, bringing your chest, your forehead towards the ground, if not touching the ground. Then you'll feel that stretch opening through the hips. You'll feel the spine nice and elongate. You'll feel the inner thigh stretch. And then the further you pull your tailbone back and reach those fingertips forward, the further you'll feel that stretch. If you also press down with your fingertips and pull the shoulders down and back, you'll feel a nice stretch through the triceps, through the shoulders, through the upper back. Take another couple deep breaths here. Maybe it feels good to pitter-patter your hands to the left. Back through center, right. Getting a little side bend added. And that, my friends, concludes our core stability session. We'll stop our recording